when do you make time just for the two of you? We don't have time for that. We don't have time to this. Oh, we usually just sit in front of the television. Right, so you do have time, actually. Right? I recommend for couples to do at least a 2-hour time slot every week where you just spend time with each other, but away from screens.
She's back, one of our most insightful guests, a voice of calm and clarity in a noisy world. Lena Fenton is a psychosexual therapist with nearly 30 years of experience, helping people navigate the toughest parts of love, sex, and relationships. From trauma and trust to the daily struggles couples face behind closed doors, Lena brings wisdom, empathy, and real-life tools that work. Today, she joins us again to go even deeper into the issues we all face but rarely talk about. Get ready for another honest and eye-opening conversation.
Hi, we are back with Lena, and this time she brought the food. You cannot eat pasta when you are talking with Italian. This time I need to give my thanks to your husband, no?
Yes.
Here, I have something from Romania. I mean, you can find it in the stores.
Okay.
Best awarded water.
Okay. The water that has the best award.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
it's Romanian water.
yeah, you
Excellent.
can find it in Tesco. I bought it from Tesco today.
Ah, okay.
Oh. It's very alkaline.
Okay.
It's called Aqua Carpatica. And the thing is that I want them to sponsor me.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Cheers. A glass of water.
Yes, indeed. Lovely.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't feel like anything.
It feels smooth.
Yeah,
feels
it
good.
feels like water.
Yeah.
Like how the water is supposed
It's
to feel
supposed to
like.
be, yeah, indeed, not what you get out the tap.
Okay, what do
Shall
we have
we?
here?
So here we have homemade. All the ingredients are made from scratch. Lasagna.
A lasagna. When I put it in a plate, I mix it up mine, but that's
So
good.
this is not made with sauce from a jar. This is actually made at home. The bechamel sauce, the meat sauce, all of it is made at home. The pasta, no, the actual pasta is
Just the pasta is bought. About pasta, I remember when it wasn't actually pasta, but when we do chicken soup in Romania, I mean, we used to. We make our pasta, and I remember taking these big pieces, and we have like the all kind of stove with the wood.
Oh,
and
yes.
we put on stove the big part and become crunchy,
all right. Yes, yes,
like a wrapping.
yes.
And it was so good.
Yeah, I can imagine. Sometimes the simple things are the best.
Yeah.
Like water.
Even the chicken soup is not the same taste.
No, of course.
Is when you see that's fat, which is yellow on the chicken. That's the best part.
Yep, that's the flavour. Yeah.
How long is taking this to cook?
Well, the sauce will normally be made the day before. So Marita will have made it either yesterday or he may have made it another time and frozen it. But I think he made this yesterday, and then the sauce is made this morning. So no more than an hour, because once you've made all the bits, you then put it in the oven, obviously. No more than about an hour and a half. Depends on how much you're making there and then, and how much you've made. Because the sauce, the meat sauce, is often best made the day before, because all the flavors marinate, and so it's any kind of type bolognese sauce is always best made at least one day before.
Okay. And what kind of meat it is?
I expect it's just beef. I wasn't there, but I
Okay.
expect it's just beef. But in Italy, all kinds of different sauces are used, meats. I mean, often, for example, I know my auntie will do a mixture of minced beef, minced lamb and minced pork,
Okay.
which is very rich as well, or beef and lamb, various things like that. So that, in my family at least, when we make this type of bolognese sauce, we will mix the meats.
I'm just asking because in Romania we have this big culture around pork,
All right.
and even we have foods which it's made with cow, but I'm not very familiar only with villager soup, which is with cow meat.
Okay.
I mean, we are a country where we eat a lot of soups,
Right.
different styles, sour soup, even with the milk inside, or
Yeah.
Greek yogurt.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we use a lot of Greek yogurt
Right. Yeah.
in the food. I mean, we call it smântână,
Okay.
not Greek yogurt.
Okay. A bit like here, soups are often made with cream or cheese, or it's a similar kind of thing, isn't it? It's the protein.
Yeah. I mean, even we have without, but we have the ripe soup, which it's a soup with stomach cow.
Oh, tripe.
The Romanian version, or
No.
tripe? Yeah, I say ripe.
Yeah. Yeah. Particularly is that, as you saw, we didn't make a lot because we generally only have it as what in England you would think of as a starter.
Okay.
In Italy, we call it il primo, the first course, and then the meat and vegetables will then be the second, or what you would call the main, which is the protein and vegetables.
In our country, basically, it's the first. It's the chicken soup, and after that we have some like mashed potato with a steak or something, or sarmale, which is the cabbage rolls with
right.
rice. Depends, but usually the cabbage roll is kind of holiday, like
Oh, I see.
like
More of a special food.
yeah. But I mean, we have plenty like Christian holidays
Yeah.
in our calendar.
Yes, absolutely. Same as in Italy. Yeah, yeah.
It's like we have, the Christian calendar, and when it's a church holiday,
Yeah.
it's with red.
Yes, yes.
And
Nobody works.
yeah, but we have a lot. When we've been on the village side, we like that those days.
Yeah, of course.
Because
Yeah,
we're not supposed to do farming or something.
of
Only
course.
the emergency.
That's right.
Okay, I will take this.
Thank you.
The food was very good. The thing is, I don't even feel it's beef.
Right.
I mean,
okay.
because I'm quite sensible with meats, and I don't like lamb.
Okay.
But sometimes if it's masked properly,
Yeah.
if I don't feel a taste of lamb, I don't have problems.
Excellent. All right.
Because once I had a guest on my Romanian podcast. He got a place in Rotherham. Maybe once we can go there. He got a terrace outside, and he's doing barbecues.
Ah.
and he said, "I have a lamb barbecue. Everyone loves it." The thing is, I know I feel disgust when I don't know why.
Right, yeah. Because lamb can be very fat, can't it?
Yeah, and I eat the lamb there. I thought, wow, this is amazing. Even the way how he did it, yeah. I mean, he gave us too much, but we bring it home. I reheat it. I don't like it. Reheat, no. Fresh, yes.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. I saw a video, and a boy asked his father, "Why you and the mother you split up?" And the father looked at the child, and he said, "Because of you,"
Wow.
which is not true.
Of course not. No, I can't. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything like that I've come across personally. What tends to happen is that couples come to me because after having children, they stop having sex.
Okay.
Or sex is very infrequent. And that can be an issue. They want to get back to how, or he often, the man wants to get back to how it was before children, which is probably not going to happen often because people change. And when you have a child, you change, right? And so your sexuality can change and all of those kinds. And so sometimes the children can be blamed for the lack of intimacy or for the lack of closeness, especially if the woman dedicates herself entirely to the children and tends to kind of ignore the husband. That's something that happens a lot, and I come across a lot, but not where the children are directly blamed for difficulties.
Sometimes, even the parents, I say, we are fighting because of the children. What I'm thinking, it's they don't know how to deal with their emotions and take on the little one. Say, because of you. But you're supposed to be there to teach the child.
That doesn't happen as often as you might think, at least not in the therapy room. What tends to happen is that parents blame each other for how the child is.
Okay.
I do have one story where the couple she threatened to leave him because of how he was behaving towards their child. And he felt that, but this was more of a kind of dispute about parenting, how to parent a child.
Yeah.
Where she is much more to speak kindly to the child, to try and explain things to the child, whereas he's more, kind of a bit more rough. Not that he would hit the child, but that is less patient and just, will get angry with the child much more quickly, if you like. And she would not tolerate that. She would not tolerate him getting angry with their child. But that again was a dispute about parenting rather than about the child themselves. Although you could say that he would think that the child is behaving badly and needs to be disciplined, whereas she's saying, no, he just needs to learn, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
But again, it wasn't blaming the child per se, it was more a dispute between them. So I don't have...
But
even in divorce cases, the ones that I've worked with, I haven't really had situations where the child is directly blamed for the marital difficulties. No.
Okay.
I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I've just not had any recent experience of anything like that.
That's why I asked if you had that.
No.
Because there are a lot of troubles, and basically you know only what you face.
Yeah, that's right.
What is the hardest part when a couple face a major change in their life and stress come?
What is the hardest part? That's a very broad question. I mean,
how the therapy can help them?
Okay, that's an easier one. Okay, so let's say moving house. Actually, I was talking to a couple recently where there was going to be a baby, there was going to be a job change, there was going to be a moving, all in the next 6 months. And the difficulties there, I think, for them was really about all the uncertainties. For confidentiality reasons, I won't go into all the details, but all of those 3 things. So baby arriving, moving home, and losing work. Right. So lots of uncertainties, lots of what it's going to be, because it's a first child as well. And I think what the way that therapy helps there is because there's nothing effectively that a therapist can do to help the couple, right? But what I can do is I can help them think about their feelings. I can help them think about how they support each other, and whether they have a tendency to, if they're under too much stress, to withdraw from the relationship, or whether they're able to come together and deal with it together, if you see what I mean. How, during the birth, how present, how close they want to be, that we can think about all of those things. For instance, one of the issues about pregnancy often that frequently comes up is whether or not to have sex whilst you're pregnant. Okay, and we talk about that, and we explore the feelings that are behind it. Because actually for some women, not all by any means, but for some women, being pregnant can actually make them feel more sexy. Some men can also find pregnant women very attractive, right? So to not have sex seems, why not, really? So we can think about all the feelings that are around there, and also I can advise them, it's absolutely safe, you're not harming the baby gets the benefit of all the feel-good hormones that are going through the woman's body. There's absolutely no reason, if the pregnancy is a healthy one, there's no reason not to enjoy sex really all the way through.
I think even the midwives are recommend that.
Yeah, exactly.
There are some hormones which help dilate.
You mean dilate?
Dilate.
Yes. So later on in pregnancy, sure.
I mean, so, even before birth.
Yeah, because the uterus, the cervix contracts, so it's kind of preparation for birth.
Even the oxytocin, if I remember.
And the oxytocin, which is the cuddle hormone, absolutely. Yeah. All of that. So yeah, absolutely. So that's what I meant about all the hormones and all the chemicals that are flowing through, which happens anyway during sexual encounter. But it's good for the baby. That's the thing to remember, really.
Yeah.
So that's one issue. The other one about the job, I help them explore how she's feeling about being dependent on him financially because she was going to be made redundant. So we talked about how is that going to feel like for you? Had they thought about how they were going to manage that? So we helped them think through that. Then there was the whole kind of moving situation, because actually they were moving country, not just yeah. So there was there was a lot to really talk about and think about and plan as well, because in that talking, what we're also doing is we're looking at I'm helping them to think about what skills they already have, what positive ways that they already manage stress and difficulties, and to enhance those. Or if they haven't got many, then I can help them think about how to communicate about problematic issues. And I have very specific exercises that I would give a couple to learn to communicate better or to listen better, as I think we've talked about in the past. So all of that, I mean, that isn't going to happen in one session. There's so many complex issues there that it's going to take quite a few sessions, right?
Yes.
But the therapy can really support a couple through that so that they get the best result, and they don't, because what tends to happen in stress is you tend to kind of all your worst qualities come out, in a sense, right? All your negative qualities can be increased, because the stress just, it puts you in a less than optimum coping brain state. And so if we think about it carefully and we prepare in advance, it's one of the reasons why I also offer premarital counselling. Because in premarital counselling, we think about the possible problems that come up, and we start to plan how each thing might be thought about, worked through, what skills are needed, and so on. And we can I help them practice, even in the session, I help them practice how to talk to each other. Yeah, and that arguing isn't the problem, but rather that how you resolve the arguments is what people need to learn. To have a good relationship is really dependent on how well you can resolve arguments. Not the fact that you might argue, but how well you repair after an argument.
I'm trying to explain what I meant.
Yeah.
And I see she's not taking it. I say, okay, I give up. Our fight is because she understands something, and I meant a different thing. And I try to explain exactly what I meant, because I didn't want to offend her in that way. And but it happened.
So when somebody's angry, they're not open to listening. So if you want to explain something, you can only really do it once the person is more calm. Because when you're angry, your more rational, calm self is a bit offline, because the emotions take over. When somebody's angry, it is usually best to just, if you can, it's not easy, to actually see why they're angry. And once you've understood them, then they're more open to understanding you. This is something that is explained in a book called Talking Peace. Actually, it's also, he has another book called Nonviolent Communication. Marshall Rosenberg is the author.
Yeah, I think I need to read that.
Yeah, he's a worldwide renowned speaker on this issue. But it's only by really kind of, because you can't give and receive at the same time, right? And when you're angry, you're definitely in a giving out mode. Okay, you can't receive whilst you're giving out. You have to be calm in order to receive. Do you see?
Yeah.
So when two people are angry, they're both giving out and no one's receiving anything. Right?
Yeah.
So
it's like deflecting, basically. And it's,
yeah. You're in defense mode. You're not going to take anything whilst you're in defense mode. Anger is a form of defense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you going to hear? You're not going to hear anything, because you're still defending. And in order to hear, you have to be much more receptive and open. And you're not open when you're angry.
I want to ask you if it's a specific tool. I mean, when I say tool, it's basically a practice, a skill what a couple can learn when they are coming to therapy to manage stress.
I have in the past recommended meditation, because if you can't remove the stress, then you have to increase your capacity for managing it. And one of the ways you do that is by meditation, either individually or indeed together. There's lots of couple meditations that you can do.
Yeah, well, not all of the couples are open. Like, let's say one of them, they're open to meditation, but the other one are.
Yeah, no, agreed. And sometimes what I do is I take them through a meditation in the actual session, so that they get a feeling for, or I teach them mindfulness, as a little bit. I mean, I'm not a mindfulness teacher, but I have learnt enough to be able to communicate what mindfulness is like. And then there's lots of apps out there that you can use. But I also explained that meditation doesn't need to be sitting there, kind of staring into space. You can do walking meditation, you can do listening to music, there's all kinds of ways of doing it, because not everybody's capable of, let's say, for instance, somebody who has ADHD wouldn't be able to just sit there for half an hour, but they might be able to do a walk, and a half an hour walk that is calming and de-stressing. So it really depends. That's one. The other one, I think, is to reduce screen time, because I don't, although people say, I just go on my phone and I zone out. Yes, that's true, but it's not actually particularly relaxing or de-stressing. And so taking some time out to do almost anything else, and that in itself can be a pressure, because if people are stressed, usually they're also short of time, right? But it doesn't have to be long. It can be 10 minutes here. But I think the one thing that I do recommend is that it's a daily thing. So if all you can manage is 10 minutes of tending your plants, if you're into gardening, or sitting meditating, or even listening to some very specific piece of music, anything that works for you by way of de-stressing, that is not screen time, either together or individually, then that would be that one specific thing, is learn how to take time out.
Like how I was yesterday in hiking.
Yeah.
For all three of us, it was good.
Yeah. I know one couple, for example, that read together. They enjoy, one of the ways that they de-stress is they pick a book and they read to each other. It might only be 10, 15 minutes, it might be an hour, but they read together. And that's the way that they regulate themselves. Because de-stressing is really about regulating your whole nervous system, isn't it? So that's what you really have to identify and learn, have the discipline to do regularly.
Yeah, that's a good one, because I remember I see something. I just remember some beats. I say animals, when they're scared, they got adrenaline, and after that they go somewhere and they regulate themselves. We don't, because we just continue life. We are not taking that time.
Exactly.
And this is the problem, because we have fighting and we don't stop there.
Yeah, that's right.
We jump on over things, and basically that fight is still there with us.
That's right.
Even if past a day or something.
Yeah, it can be, absolutely. Depends how what you're fighting about and how badly it affects you. But I was thinking more in terms of generalized stress. When, I don't know, you've gone to work and you've had lots of rubbish from different people, or your boss, or that sort of thing, or you've had particularly difficult customers, or whatever. I was thinking more of those things. And then you've got a child crying and throwing a tantrum, and your wife is stressed, and or your husband or your partner, whatever. And so it feels like it's all coming at you like that.
With the child part, we learn a technique. It's more about parenting. Say, wait, I'm talking now with mommy, and after that, it's your turn.
Yes. But again, depends on the age of the child, because very little children can't wait, for example. If you've got a screaming 6, baby. Yeah.
But the thing is, sometimes she's doing, fine.
Yeah.
But she agrees.
Yeah, she's learned.
But it was hard before, because saying, no, I'm on now. But she learned with time.
Exactly.
That is supposed to work with everything. I told my daughter, even if I'm talking with someone, like outside, wait, I know you are here. We are talking after I finish.
Yeah. It's just learning good manners, isn't it? Sure.
I didn't know about this.
Right, yes.
And just because I have this daughter, I try to raise her properly.
Sure.
And I'm learning things. I mean, it's more very educative since I become a husband and a father.
Yeah, it's an
and just
education in
learn-
itself.
I just
Absolutely.
learning what I didn't see at my parents.
Yeah.
I have a question. How can couples fairly divide households responsibilities, and what roles does the therapy play in creating balance?
I think it's an important question because it is something that comes up in most sessions.
Okay.
Not most sessions, in most couples that I've worked with, there is always that issue of a balance of who does the most of this or that, right? And what's interesting about that is that what's not talked about is who takes responsibility, right? Because should it be up to one person to say, right, that needs to be done, should not each person, again, irrespective of gender, should not each person know to take responsibility for themselves?
Yeah.
Right? So let's take, it's a really silly example. The rubbish needs to go out in time for the bin men, right?
Yeah.
To be collected. Now, should somebody tell you to do that, or you as an adult capable of thinking, the rubbish needs to go out for tomorrow, right? Or should that be, I just leave it up to him? Yes, you can, assuming that the other person, him in this case, has taken on that responsibility, that is what he will do, or anything, what needs cleaning or what needs mending or what needs whatever. You as an adult, do you need to be told by your wife what needs to be clean, or do you not know for yourself? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, otherwise I feel that sometimes women infantilize men. They treat them like children. They need to be told when to take the rubbish out, or, when to put a wash on, or when to do the washing up. It's kind of like, well, now, forgive me, but I appreciate different people have different standards. And usually one of the problems with couples is that, one person, and I've had it where men are very kind of fastidious and want everything clean and tidy, and the other woman doesn't. So it's not just women that do this, but I think at the end of the day, it is about both people being adult enough, mature enough to take responsibility for their own lives. Now, nobody needs to tell you to go and shower or wash yourself or whatever. You take responsibility for your own life. Well, your home is the same, surely.
Yeah.
Right? So my argument isn't... not my argument. My argument isn't, who should do what and should it be 50-50 or should it be fair? It should be that both people are adult enough to take responsibility for the smooth running of their home, right? And at the end of the day, getting the washing done or taking the rubbish out is about the smooth running of your home, so that you don't run out of pants or your child doesn't run out of pajamas or whatever. Do you see what I mean? It's like...
Yeah.
I think women have traditionally taken a lot of that responsibility on. And I think in this, in the 21st century, I think there needs to be more capacity for both men and women to take those responsibilities on. Because certainly in Western society, by majority, both men and women work, whether or not they have children. Both men and women have careers. Again, whether or not they have children, or pets, or whatever responsibilities, or parents that they're responsible for, right? So why should one or the other be responsible for everything or for most of it or whatever? It should surely be that each person knows to take responsibility. I don't know if that answers your question, but what I've done is I've reframed the question. I've said, well, is it about, should we do, is it a case of, I'll do the washing up today, you do the washing up tomorrow? Or is it the washing up needs to be done, let's just get it done? Do you see the difference? Right? Because I'm not a child. My husband doesn't need to tell me to put my plate away when I've finished eating,
that's
right?
fair.
Right?
Yeah.
So if a person is doing that to their partner, What's going on there? That each person should know that the dishes go in the dishwasher, the rubbish go, in the bin. So I think about it a little bit differently, perhaps.
I'm just saying about this. My wife, she told me do that. I'm supposed to fix something, and I said I'm going to do it tomorrow because I'm busy now. And the thing is, I was busy next day
As well. Yeah.
And I totally forgot about it.
Right.
But she remembers.
Right. Of course.
What are your views on open relationship or polyamory?
What are my views? I'm not sure I have. I have a view. I accept that it's something that for some people is necessary. For a lot of people, it's completely alien.
But what happens if one want that and the other one is not?
Well, I had a case like that, and they split up basically because I think he was hoping that she would come round to the idea of opening the relationship up at least. And I think we talked around and about the issues involved, and they split up. But then I have another couple, I had another couple where we spent about 8 or 9 months talking about this issue, and although they've agreed to open the relationship up, she has put very quite strict boundaries around it. So it can only happen in certain circumstances, and then he has to make sure that he's checked and everything is okay. Even though she might or might not, but there's very strict. They've talked about it to such an extent that they're very clear about what can happen and what can't happen. And I think for most people who practice either open relationships, because open relationships and polyamory are two different things. Polyamory is when you have multiple relationships simultaneously. So you might have, 2 girlfriends, or and the other person might have 2 boyfriends, or whichever gender you choose. And they're ongoing relationships at the same time. So there'll be maybe there's a hierarchy where there's one main relationship where the couple live together, and then they have outside lovers. That's polyamory. Or other relationship where they might spend part of the week with the other person. Open relationships is when you can have casual sex, and it's open to either partner to have extra relationship sex. But again, within that, there are when it does work, because it can be very... look, if relationships are difficult and complicated anyway, having more than one partner, whether it's casual sex or whether it's another relationship, is going to be even more complicated, right? So you've got, 4 or 5 sets of emotional human beings that it's just going to... Anyway, when it does work, it usually does work because people have very strict rules that they adhere to, right? Because even if you're in an open relationship and you step outside of the rules, that's still considered cheating, right? So for example, let's say you're in an open relationship and you have a lover, okay, who you maybe see once a month or something, for argument's sake. I'm making it up, just out of my head. And then you start to fall in love with that person, and you want to see them more often, or you want to have a full relationship with them, then you're breaking the contractual agreement that you've entered into, and that can be considered cheating.
Yes.
Right? In the same way as if you have a monogamous relationship and you have any kind of relationship with somebody else, that is cheating, right? It's a similar thing, whether it's an open relationship, whether it's a polyamory, or whatever it is.
I never think about that.
Yeah.
About the rules.
Absolutely. And it's the rules that make it safe. Boundaries are there to keep everyone safe, right? Whether it's the boundary at the end of your garden or the boundary that you have in your mind about not having other types of relationships, whatever that might be. Those boundaries are there to keep everyone safe. And so long as you have clear boundaries that you adhere to and are kind of committed to, then polyamory can work just as well as monogamy. Open relationships can work just the same. It's when those boundaries are transgressed that the problems arise. And that's really, if you think about it, that applies to most areas of life, whether it's relationships or work or parenting or anything else, really. It's being clear about your boundaries that makes life secure.
I'm just thinking about a thing what my wife, she said a few years back, if I will cheat on her. I told her, I don't want more headache.
Yes.
No, I'm all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Why to complicate my life?
Indeed. Yeah.
No, because at this moment it's March, and it's considered like the 8th of March is considered Women's Day.
Women's Day, yeah.
But in the Romanian tradition, we have even the 1st March.
Oh.
We are giving, we call them mărțișori. It's more like a flower or something, like a brooch.
Okay.
And it's very nice. But it was a tradition. Women, they're supposed to give that to the men who like. But you change by time, and women expect them. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not supposed to be
Romantic?
romantic.
Okay.
No. It's like, I know you are a woman or a girl, or you need to have this.
So it's an affirmation of femininity. Of femininity.
Yes.
It's an affirmation
Yeah.
of the women. Yeah.
And this year, I was lazy. I didn't bought nothing for the girls,
Right.
for both of them. And yeah, I mean, for me it was because in the second day is my wife's birthday, and
Yes.
I mean, I gave her a gift, but it was like a bit of both for the
I
birthday.
see.
And
Yes.
that bonsai tree from the it was basically for the 1st of March.
Okay.
It was a bit tricky because I tricked her somehow.
Right.
So the bonsai tree was for that, and I got like a Lego toy flowers
Okay.
because she loves that. She always wanted, and even the bonsai,
Okay.
and she never bought it.
Okay.
And somehow I tricked that with 1 day for both. But she's still expecting flowers in
On the 8th.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I need to not forget that.
Isn't it interesting how there isn't a man's day? Or at least
I mean,
if there is,
it
it's not
now, but
yeah, but it's not really. It's not a. Nobody makes a big deal, right?
no,
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
I mean, Dad's Day, the Father's Day,
Yeah, there is a Father's Day. Yeah.
yeah, that it's a bit celebrated.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they say the Man's Day. We can celebrate with a barbecue.
Okay.
I mean, I saw people doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, in Romania, it's 5th of May.
All right.
Because it's a perfect weather for barbecue.
Of course. Yes.
And now,
Right.
why I bring this, it's
Yes.
I have this question ready. What practical tips can you give for couples to celebrate and appreciate each other regularly?
Regularly.
Yeah.
So not just on Women's Day or
No.
Men's Day,
Yeah.
but regularly.
Regularly. Because we are not doing that.
No.
We are doing it for a bit.
Yeah.
And after that,
Okay, so let's think about, first of all, the first part of your question, which is, the last part, the word regularly. Because that could mean daily, that could mean weekly, that could mean monthly.
Yeah.
One of the things that I recommend for couples to do is to always have at least a 2-hour time slot every week where you just spend time with each other. It doesn't have to be doing anything. It doesn't have to be going out to dinner. It doesn't have to be anything else, but away from screens and doing something together. It could be sitting together and talking whilst you've got music in the background, right? There's a lovely thing nowadays, that is, there are various companies that do it, where you get connection cards, which is like questions that you can ask each other, okay, about whatever, anything. That's one thing. You can listen to your favorite music together. You can go for a walk together. I mean, if you have small children, that's not always possible, except that children do go to sleep. Right?
Yeah.
And so,
or school.
And so, that's the time that you choose, that is just adult time. Okay, because I think that one couple that I saw recently had very big jobs, very stressful jobs, and on top of that, they had really quite busy hobbies, right? And I said, so. Okay, so you make time for that hobby, and you make time for that hobby, and you make time for that person, that family member, and that. When do you make time just for the two of you? And so this is a problem that comes up time and time and time again. Okay. And after because I will literally take them through. Okay, so what do you do on a Saturday morning? And what about the afternoon? And what about the evening? And I will want them to account for their time, right? So couples that say to me, for instance, well, we don't have time for that. We don't have time to this. And I said, hold on. So after you finish work and you've eaten, you've put everything away, what do you do? Oh, we usually just sit in front of the television. Right, so you do have time, actually. Right?
It's exactly what these guys who are doing business events, they're saying. You have time.
You
don't
totally
say you don't have
time. Yes,
you are
do.
watching Netflix.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
I realized over the weekend we tried to find a movie, and so we saw this. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
What we did with our time.
Do you know what the easiest and simplest thing that you can do? I mean, it's different for couples that live and work in the same place, but the one thing that I think is absolutely precious, and it literally takes 1 minute every day, and that is to stop. So let's say you've been out at work and you've just come in, for both of you to stop, look at each other in the eyes, say hello, and give each other a hug. That's it. That's it. Just that acknowledgement and that recognition that we're coming together again is actually sometimes all it takes. And so that little meet and greet, I call it.
Yeah.
Every day. Now, if you're not going out to work and you're working at home together, that's fine. Then you should do it last thing at night. Now, often I hear couples tell me that the last thing they do at night is look at their phones, right? In the bad old days, when I was very, very young, we had the mobile phones didn't exist, and the only phone was the one in the living room, right? So if in the bedroom, you didn't have such things. And so you would lie together and talk and tell each other about the day, right? And just appreciate each other, right? Doesn't have to take long, 10, maybe 15 minutes. I know some people say, well, as soon as I go to bed, I'm going to sleep. Fine. So do it before you go to bed. I mean, it's not hard, right? That, in my mind, is showing appreciation in a real way on a daily basis. But if you can't even manage that, then make sure that at least once a week there's at least a 2-hour slot where you can concentrate and focus on your partner and show them that, because look, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it a million times. The greatest gift of love is time.
Make time.
Time to give to your partner diluted by anything else. Just one-to-one time. That's the greatest gift. Whether it's your partner, whether it's your mother, whether it's your child, the greatest gift is just to make the time to be with them.
I want to ask you about the gender difference in the relationship.
All right.
Because we are not similar. We are not having the same needs.
No.
Even in the romantic way.
Needs that different genders have. Is that your
It's
question?
more like it's the difference between them.
What about the difference?
Like,
There's lots of differences. Where specifically do you want to go with that? Are we talking about sexual differences? Are we talking about romantic differences? Are we talking about biological differences?
The gender difference, how it affect the communication?
Okay. Let's think about that for a minute. So, in very broad terms, women are better communicators than men.
Yeah,
okay?
But we believe we are very logical.
Yes. And men tend to think that they're logical, although I would question that. And women tend to be labelled emotional. Again,
yeah.
I think that there is emotional logic and there is intellectual logic, and I think they're just different types of logic. But that's me wanting to be fair with everybody. In terms of communication, the one thing that I think is quite a frequent occurrence is that women have some kind of expectation that men should just know. So although they're good communicators, they don't often in relationships, what I see is that women actually don't articulate or say what they feel or need or want.
Yeah.
They expect men to just know, right? Now, I have adopted a different policy in my own life, which is that I don't want my partner to forget my birthday, our anniversary, or Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So, or indeed with my children, the rest of my family, I give them plenty of notice. It's my birthday in 3 weeks' time, right? First of all. Second of all, I have told my partner that he need not think about what present to give me, because there are only 3 things that he can ever buy me. Or 3 categories, I should say, right? Lingerie, perfume, or jewellery. Okay? Don't think about anything else. I don't need a new iron for Christmas, okay? Don't think...
The thing is, for me, things which are useful around the house,
exactly.
That's not really a gift.
No, exactly. But a lot of men do that, Oh, she always said she wanted whatever it is. That's not what you buy, that's a nice surprise present anytime. It's not what you buy on a special occasion. So I've told my partner, those are the 3 things, those are the 3 categories, and he gets it right every time. I'm so happy.
That's good.
Okay, but I've chosen to communicate that to him because I understand that men's thinking is different to women's. Okay. So what I think it would be a good present and what he thinks would be a good present are probably not going to be the same. So I allow for that difference and try and bridge that gap. So that's one small example. Another example is another couple that I have, which she likes to go to bed and she likes to spend about 15 minutes or so each night just sharing with him what happened in her day, how she's feeling. She just likes to open up, right? And he hates it. Ooh. Right? Because he says, I am so tired. I can't, by the time I actually get into bed, I am so tired. I don't have any space to really take in what she's talking about, right? But actually, it works fine because she says, it's fine, I don't mind because I actually don't want any of his answers. just so long as he allows me to just talk, right? And so it works.
Basically, it's what women need to listen. Just
yes.
They don't need any replies.
Absolutely.
I learned that on hard way.
Whereas men want kind of simple, straightforward, tell me what you want me to say and I'll say it, 100%. Tell me what you want and I will do it, right? Men are very different. I think that's what you mean by logical, that it's very clear cut. I know what I need to do. I will provide what's needed, and then I'm satisfied that I've done the right thing, right? I think that's how men...
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So women don't get that. And so I often say to women in sessions, just tell him what you want. He's not going to guess, and he's definitely not a mind reader, so just tell him. You want a diamond ring? Tell him. He'll work extra shifts or he'll work extra nights just to get you the diamond ring, right? Don't hint at it. Don't say, oh, don't show him, you take him to a jeweler's shop and say, oh, isn't that a beautiful ring? It's not what he needs to hear. He needs to hear, I want that ring. So in terms of gender differences, that's something that's I think really important, is to understand. And again, it's about being able to bridge that difference, right? That's what makes a successful relationship. Can you build a bridge towards your partner and meet him or her somewhere in the middle? Because if you sit here just expecting, it's never going to happen. Yeah, because you have to accept that they're different to you. In many ways, especially in gender terms. Yeah. Another big difference in terms of gender and communication is sex, right? Because men have their own thoughts about what is expected of them, and women have theirs. And if they don't communicate, they don't learn to talk openly about sex, it creates all kinds of problems, right? For example, this man who has a premature ejaculation, he comes too quickly, and all he's worried about is that she's going to be disappointed. And actually, she's fine because she doesn't necessarily enjoy penetration that much, and so if he comes quickly, she's quite happy with that, right?
Okay.
So I mean, different women have different preferences, but in that particular situation, it worked fine for her. But all he was worried about was that how she wouldn't have enough. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was more happy because, and there's a reason behind it actually, women often climax more easily with external stimulation than penetration. So penetration isn't necessarily as important to some women. Okay, some women can climax either way or whatever, but for some women, they only climax with external stimulation. And so if a man comes quickly, as long as she's had...
Do you know why that happens for the men?
Premature ejaculation? Yeah. Anxiety?
I'm just saying.
The simple
because
answer.
It happens once for me.
Sure.
I mean, I was basically... my girlfriend from then broke up with me, and the next partners what I had, I got that problem.
Yeah, anxiety and those things that cause anxiety. So you experienced the rejection, right, which made you anxious about your next relationship, and so that then plays a part in your performance.
Yeah, but it was even after next.
Sure.
After that, I took a break, and after that, I had maybe I wasn't anxious. I don't know. Maybe it solved.
I think so. I think that
after that, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. So something changed inside of you. Yeah. Sure. So
I didn't realize then.
Yeah, you didn't. But also, I think
I was truly in love when it didn't happen.
There you go. So with the others, you were anxious about your performance and anxious in the relationship. When you're truly in love, you feel really safe.
Yeah, and I think that happens.
Absolutely. I think that's something that men aren't always aware of, how they need to feel emotionally safe in order to function more powerfully as in their sexuality.
Good one. I didn't realize, and just looking now in the past, it's
Absolutely. I have spent 18 months teaching a man that very fact, and he's finally beginning to understand that his idea of what masculinity is had never incorporated the fact that he needs to feel safe and wanted and received, because otherwise he doesn't function properly.
yeah,
And I think that's one of the myths and one of the faults of our society, is that men are taught, whether it's through pornography, whether it's through their own fathers or whatever, that in order to be a real man, it has to be, 2 foot long and as hard as iron, right? Anything less and you're not a real man. And that's just rubbish.
I mean, it wasn't only pornography. In old days, they've been very vocal about it. Like
Exactly.
the man was talking about
exactly. Yes. Yeah. And actually, men are just human beings, like women.
Yeah, true.
And we all, one of the important things in any form of sexual activity is a sense of safety, whether it's physical safety. In fact, some researchers believe that the reason why we tend to have sex in private is because it ensures that we have enough time to complete the act without any other kind of attack. So if you're a primitive man, right, and you're a nomad, or you're wandering around, you don't just have sex anywhere, because there could be a tiger. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. And so you have to find a safe place, and that's just on a biological level. But I think we also have that sense on an emotional level, intellectual level. There needs to be a sense of safety in order to be able to relax enough to just function in the natural way at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. And it's a good way how to end this podcast.
Yes, indeed.
I think I had one short one. Yeah, I have a short one.
Mm-hmm.
How impact can have sleep deprivation in the relationship?
Massive. The quick answer is massive. Sleep deprivation has a massive impact on mental health, and all kinds of things. The lack of serotonin, is just massive. And we can go into all kinds of, scenarios about it. But sleep deprivation, and I think that's one of the reasons why women, for instance, who are breastfeeding, why women generally, when they have a new baby, can go into postpartum depression, is because there is severe lack of sleep. Because you tend to wake up every 2 or 3 hours, right? And when that becomes chronic, it can create all kinds of problems. It's just massive. There's lots of studies done around that, actually, around the impact of sleep deprivation. It's a real problem.
Yeah. I mean, I have some sleep deprivation. I mean, basically, I was doing too much work. It creates a distance.
It
mean,
does.
in
It
my
does.
case, because my wife, she's going by herself to sleep. That's a minus.
Yeah.
And-
It creates distance between two people. It creates bad moods. It creates problems. It creates arguments. It affects your sexuality, because your libido will go down. All sorts of, like I said, massive.
Thank you for this episode, and for everyone who wants help, they can contact Lena. I put in the description the link, and here on the screen.
Thank you.
And can we see you on another episode?
Absolutely.
All right,
Yes.
perfect.
I thought we were going to be talking about pornography as well, weren't we?
Yes,
isn't that
but
in the next?
I had these fill-up questions, and after that we can talk about it.
Because
here.
that's a
It's-
whole subject by itself. Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Okay.